Hey, GenXer. Let's say you worked hard to release a legacy or family tradition that kept you stuck. Now you're staring at the blank canvas of your future and panic is setting in. But starting something new doesn't erase the past. Legacy is constantly evolving, and it includes how you live forward from this moment. Your life and work history contain ideas, and you probably have a good idea of the type of person you'd like to be as you do that, because you know that legacy also lives in how you treat people and what you stand for. This is part 2 of my series about legacy. If you haven't listened to episode 11 already, check it out. That one focused on what you inherited and how to release it. This episode is about what to build going forward. Now, let's look at what it means to craft a legacy on your own terms, starting today. This is Burn the Map, the podcast for Gen Xers dying to leave corporate and build something of their own. I'm Shelley McIntyre, a certified coach with decades of experience in corporate strategy and tech. I help midlife professionals ditch outdated roles and design a third act that actually fits. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Let's get into it. You already know a few things. You are a living legacy who embodies the attributes and histories of people before you. You've honored family tradition or hopes by pursuing your career. And what you're doing does not fit anymore, and you need to get out of there. A simple view of legacy is what other people say about you at your memorial. Your family and friends, if they mention it at all, will probably describe your career pivot as an admirable and brave choice. You are highly unlikely to be mocked at your funeral for throwing away a career. Choosing to do something more aligned with your values accrues to your legacy in a positive way. You're demonstrating that doing what you love matters. I hear 2 types of Gen Xers wave off the concept of a personal legacy. Parents can easily and naturally point to their kids and say, "That's my legacy right there." Well, sure, your kids are part of it, but they don't bear all of the responsibility to shape your lasting legacy. You don't need to erase your desires and your voice by using the kids as a shield. You've been to their school plays. You paid for braces. You're allowed to have a life of your own now, my forgotten generation friend. The other Gen Xers who dismiss legacy? The ones with family histories they'd rather not uphold. If you descended from a batch of unsavory people, you might think it's better for all those inherited traits and even your name to end with you. This is actually okay, and it can coexist with what we're talking about here, which is what you'll create going forward. You're allowed to shape a legacy that's yours alone. Forget your job description for a minute. What are you actually proud of accomplishing? Was there a moment you helped someone in a big way? Did you stand up to a bad system? Mentor someone who found their voice because of you? These moments matter. If you made a list right now of 3 moments you're proud of, my guess is that they'd have more to do with how you showed up than what you achieved. It may be that only you fully appreciate your biggest accomplishments. You broke a family pattern by finding new ways to navigate conflict. You left a job that looked good on paper but crushed your spirit. You let your kids see you rest, say no, or change your mind. Breaking a pattern is invisible work, but it's legacy work. You're leaving behind a new blueprint for what's possible. Once you learn to give yourself some credit, we can open up your Wayback Machine to look for ideas. Did you have a special talent or skill when you were a kid that you haven't touched in decades? Is your family known for something you always took for granted? Maybe you grew up around ham radios, musical instruments, or a wood shop, and it's all still in your bones. If you let yourself revisit those memories, you might find the nugget of an idea for what will come next. Novelty isn't everything. Sometimes we need a familiar doorway to creativity. Becoming a brand new person in your next act is not a requirement. In fact, many of us want to feel rooted as we get older. Sometimes what feels best is dusting off something old and making it yours. If you have access to the skills and professions of your ancestors, reach back as far as you want. What could you explore that would make them say, well, now, that makes sense? Let's put some structure around this inquiry. Consider the talents and professions of your ancestors plus your childhood interests, and ask yourself 3 important questions. What do I want to revive? What needs repair? And what can I finally retire? We're looking for parts of your lineage that still carry charge or possibility. Don't worry about whether it will be a profitable venture yet. We're just scanning for ideas. Revive dormant skills and talents. I come from a long line of musicians, so for me, that might mean returning to the piano or finding a choir after decades away. Is there something from your past that you can nudge awake? If revive is about energy, repair is about evolution. Repair the patterns that need healing. Maybe you've been quick to deflect praise or slow to set boundaries. If those habits started generations before you, repairing them means bringing awareness, compassion, and a different choice into the same space. If repair is about growth, retire is about release. Retire the roles and expectations that were never really yours. You don't need to be the fixer, the good soldier, the one who keeps the peace. Those roles may have shaped you, but they don't define you. Let them step off stage. If Prince Harry can do it, so can you. None of what you're carrying started with you, but some of it can end with you. And hey, if you want to take a step in this direction, book an Own Your Edge session with me. It's a single, powerful strategy call that helps you identify what's missing and lays the groundwork for what comes next. Once you have some ideas about what you can revive, repair, and retire, remember that you're already qualified to pursue them. You're starting from decades of skills, insights, pain, practice, and perspective. You'll need to learn some things, sure, but you're not applying to Hogwarts. You're just becoming more like yourself. Don't let outdated ideas about legacy convince you to dismiss everything that happened before today. You contain multitudes, and some old sparks are waiting for you to come to attention. Nudge your future in the direction that matters to you. Burn the map. Build what fits. Thanks for listening to Burn the Map. GenXer, you already have what you need to build a life that feels like yours. Want more tools and insights? Head to burnthemapcoaching.com. And if this episode sparked something, send it to a friend. It might be exactly what they need to hear.